Welcome back to another video. So today, what I'm gonna be doing is showing you guys my essentials for when it comes to being on a cut, whether it's my supplements, the things I eat, condiments, seasonings, different things like that I just literally use day to day while I'm on my cut that make things 10 times easier. And a lot of these things I didn't know were useful when I first started doing my cut. So that's why I wanted to make this video today, so I can show you guys the things that I use that I may have missed out on in the beginning of my cutting process that you guys can then implement into your process if you are cutting. And if you're bulking, some of these will work for you as well. So let's get into it. I'm gonna be breaking this video down into 3 subtopics of what my necessities are. So those topics are gonna be condiments and seasonings that I use, quick protein, different snacks and things like that. Get 15, 20, 50 grams of protein, really quickly with. And then supplements, things like pre-workout, different things like that. So I'm gonna go over literally everything I use for all 3 of those topics. Also, if you guys wanna see all the food that I eat throughout the week, I made a video on that last week about everything that I get from Aldi and kind of explaining why I get it, how much it is, and different things like that. So if you wanna check out that video, the link will be in the description. But other than that, let's get into the first topic, which is condiments and seasonings. So first up is just classic. Obviously, everybody knows that you need hot sauce when you're cutting. If you want your food to taste good at all or have any flavor, obviously you can go out of your way to make kind of more extravagant meals, but I'm very simple when it comes to what I eat for my cut. It's legit chicken and rice, fish and rice, different things like that, very plain food, which is why I love to have hot sauce just to make it a little more flavorful. No calories, no nothing like that. So, and another thing that goes along with that is this red hot buffalo sauce or any kind of buffalo sauce. This is just another thing that I get kind of in addition to the hot sauce, just to make it a little bit more tasty or a little bit more thick consistency. So it's a little bit different than the hot sauce, but I like to mix them together because again, this is another 0 calories, so you don't gotta worry about adding anything onto your meal. Another classic condiment that you need, especially when it comes to having like protein pancakes, protein waffles, any of those protein kind of breakfasts or anything like that, is sugar-free maple syrup. Even if you're not having protein pancakes or whatever it is, there's no reason for you to be adding way more calories onto your meal. And this tastes very similar to just having regular sugar in your maple syrup. And there's 5 calories, barely any carbs. You're not really adding much to your meal, and it's gonna make it 10 times better. I don't know if any of you have tried to have protein pancakes with no maple syrup, but it's not that fun. Make it easy on yourself and get some sugar-free maple syrup. And then when it comes to the seasonings I use, these aren't the only ones that I use, but these are the top 3 that obviously I would choose. So first is basic, just some salt. The all-purpose seasoning is a classic, everyone knows about it, but that's gonna make your food taste a lot better. And then obviously I also have one of my favorites, which is the salmon rub. I don't just put this on fish, I put it on chicken, I put it on whatever, and honestly, I love the taste of it. So if I were to say any 3 seasonings that I would get, it would definitely be these 3, but let me know if you guys disagree or agree with me in the comments. And let's get on to the quick proteins. This is mainly for breakfast. Any of these 3 things you could have for breakfast by itself and get enough calories, protein, and everything like that you need for breakfast right here. So realistically, you can start your day off with a Greek yogurt, probably the best way to start your day off if you're cutting. Anywhere between 90 to 100 calories per cup, which is great. And then 0 grams of fat, around 15 grams of protein. So if you're looking for quick protein in the morning, Greek yogurt is definitely the best way to go. Protein oatmeal. This is another thing that is super quick. Goes in the microwave for like a minute and you're getting 12 grams of protein, like 200 calories, barely any fat. So that's another great alternative as well. And then my personal favorite, which is probably not the best option if you're cutting, but something I like to have anyway, just to make it a little bit more fun. You know what I mean? I love having protein pancakes. This is obviously the Aldi version, but there's also, Kodiak, Premier, different brands like that. They're all good. They're all the same when it comes to macros. You're gonna get anywhere between 13 to 15 grams of protein, around 2 to 3 grams of fat, 180 calories per serving. I love to get the chocolate chip ones too, just to make it a little bit better. But obviously another classic that everyone knows about is just protein powder, any kind of protein powder. I like to use Ecovision just because, I don't know, this was the cheapest one that I could find at the moment. If you wanna have 1 scoop, that's a quick 25 grams of protein. If you wanna have 2 scoops, that's a quick 50 grams of protein. And then I'm about to put you guys on also because another great alternative for protein shake would be these Oikos Pro yogurt protein shakes. These are 23 grams of protein, 140 calories each bottle, and only 1.5 grams of fat. And this is literally the best protein shake I've ever had in my life. I could drink this in probably 1 second. Like, I'm not even kidding. Look how big it is compared to my hand. It's so small, 23 grams of protein. This is realistically probably actually the easiest 23 grams of protein you'll ever have in your life. So major hack. I'm putting you guys on. Get these if you see them, and they're only like $1.50 at Target. So that's a crazy deal. A few more here that I have, obviously, is just protein bars. That can go anywhere between, 10, 15, 20 grams of protein. This is just the brand I have currently, which is Misfits. So this is my go-to at the moment. I love my tuna packets. So I usually add these to any of my meals when it comes to my fish and rice, my chicken and rice, anything like that, just to get an extra 15 grams of protein. Very easy to add on to your meals. If you want to have it alone, you're kind of a psychopath, but go right ahead. This isn't a protein item, but this is gonna help, especially if you're on a cut. You're probably hungry a lot throughout the day, and you don't want to keep stuffing your face with food when you don't really have to, especially on those downtimes when you don't have your meals coming up or you don't have anything to eat at the moment. That's when you should have a diet soda. It doesn't have to be Diet Dr. Pepper, whatever it is, but these are 0 calories. It's gonna make you more full and kind of hold you over until your next meal. And it tastes good, because who doesn't like 0 calorie soda? You know what I mean? The last category I wanna go over is the supplements that I take on a daily basis. So these are all the things I use right here. When it comes to pre-workout, these are my 3 go-tos. So I have Stim Daddy from Rise. This one's about 200 milligrams of caffeine, so that's pretty good. Total War, this is 250 milligrams of caffeine. Woke AF, obviously bucked up. 333 milligrams of caffeine. So I kind of have these 3 levels. It kind of depends on what I'm hitting, first of all, and also like how much caffeine I've already had throughout the day. And then when it comes to the pump products, I like to take these as well when it comes to my cut, because obviously you don't have as many carbs to get those crazy pumps and to get kind of what you need to push yourself throughout the workout. So that's why I like to take either Pump Daddy from Rise or Gorilla Mode Nitric. So either one of these are good. Honestly, I don't have a favorite between the 2, but another thing that I take every day before the gym with my pre-workout is liquid cardarine. So I'm not exactly sure everything scientifically behind this or why it's really good for you when you're cutting, but I definitely feel like I notice a difference, and maybe it's placebo or whatever that word is, to maybe I just think it feels better, but placebo? Maybe it's placebo. Did I say it right? So maybe it's just placebo. So maybe it's just placebo, and I'm not actually feeling it, but I just think in my head. And all you do is take it as a shot. You don't even have to put this in your pre-workout, at least for this one. This is the Cutler Nutrition brand. The last thing that I would recommend, I don't take this every night, but if I'm having trouble sleeping or anything like that, I would definitely recommend taking some sort of melatonin or something like that during your cut, because if you are doing an aggressive cut, it does make your sleep a lot harder. So if you need any help sleeping, definitely take some melatonin. But those are all the supplements I take. Those are all the condiments and seasonings that I use, and all the quick proteins I use during my cut to make it kind of go as smoothly as possible. So other than that, I appreciate you guys for watching. If you guys want me to do more of these videos where I give some tips about my cut, or things I eat, things that I use, supplements I take, anything like that, let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.